Alessandro had spent years chasing justice, dedicating his life to the law. A celebrated prosecutor in Milan, he was known for his unyielding pursuit of truth, his commanding presence in the courtroom, and his deep respect for justice. But what he never expected was to find love in the very place where he fought his hardest battles. The trial that changed everything. It was supposed to be an open and shut case. Isabella Romano, a rising criminal defense attorney, stood on the other side of the courtroom, fiercely defending a client accused of corruption. She was brilliant, articulate, and fearless, everything Alessandro admired in a lawyer, yet everything that made her his opponent. As the trial progressed, their courtroom exchanges became legendary. Alessandro built his case with precision, presenting irrefutable evidence, while Isabella dismantled his arguments with surgical skill. Their words clashed like swords, yet beneath the heated exchanges was an undeniable chemistry neither could ignore. An unlikely connection. Outside the courtroom, fate seemed to conspire to bring them together. A late-night encounter in the law library led to an unexpected conversation about justice, ethics, and their reasons for choosing law. "Justice isn't always black and white," Isabella murmured, her fingers tracing the worn spine of an old law book. "Sometimes, the people we defend are more than their crimes." Alessandro studied her, intrigued by the passion in her voice. "And sometimes, the law isn't about winning or losing," he admitted. "It's about finding the truth, no matter how painful." It was in that moment that the walls between them began to crack. A love tested by duty. The case reached its climax, and the tension between them mirrored the storm raging outside. The verdict would define not just their careers but their growing feelings for each other. The jury found Isabella's client guilty, and while Alessandro had won, it felt like a hollow victory. As he watched Isabella comfort her devastated client, he saw not just a lawyer, but a woman who truly believed in second chances. That night, as they stood in the empty courtroom, he finally spoke the words that had been lingering between them. "We stand on opposite sides of the law, Isabella, but I've never admired someone more." She smiled, her eyes filled with unspoken emotions. "Maybe justice isn't about sides, Alessandro. Maybe it's about finding balance." Love beyond the courtroom. Their rivalry had forged an undeniable bond, and with the trial behind them, they allowed themselves to explore what had been building between them. Coffee dates turned into long walks along the Arno River, stolen moments between cases turned into whispered confessions. But love between two lawyers was never simple. Their careers demanded everything from them, and their opposing roles meant that conflict was inevitable. Yet, through every disagreement, every professional clash, they found themselves drawn back to each other, bound by something deeper than the law, an understanding, a respect, and a love that refused to be ignored. A future defined by love and justice. Months later, Alessandro stood in the same courtroom where they had once been adversaries, watching as Isabella defended a client with the same fiery passion that had captivated him from the start. He knew then that love was not about winning or losing. It was about standing together, even when the world tried to pull them apart. As she walked toward him after the trial, her eyes searching his, he took her hand in his, whispering the only verdict that truly mattered. "I choose you, Isabella. Today, tomorrow, always." Because love, much like justice, was worth fighting for.